It's tea time with
Kelly.
T.
and Lee and our guest.
Nelly.
What you ladies sipping on?
I want to know what you got, because I feel like you went with my suggestion and you finally have a peach margarita. It looks peachy.
Kelly, you're so disappointed. This is not peach. Okay, let me just go ahead and get this out the way. Any fruit that has fuzz freaks me out. And whenever I tell that to people, they start naming things. They're like, what about it? What about it?
I'm like, what kind of weirdness is that?
But whenever I tell people, they start naming things like, what about this? What about that? I'm like, does it have fuzz? Like I said what I just said. So I'm never going to be sipping on a peach margarita. Let's just get that out the way.
I'm just trying to figure out what other fruit has fuzz. I'm confused.
And there are peaches without fuzz. So, let's not do that.
I mean, here's the thing. I said what I said. Okay? It's not peach. So I'm sipping on my favorite rum and lemonade. That is what I'm sipping on.
Sounds good. That
That
sounds
does.
good. Nelly, what you got?
A hard seltzer that I picked up from Trader Joe's, watermelon flavor.
Trader Joe's, also known as, what did you call it, T?
Traderia sauce.
I need to
If
go
you
see
know,
Trader
you know. It's one of those things.
You guys know I've never shopped.
IYK.
Me either. That's what I said. I've never been to Trader Joe's.
I've never been. It's so fancy.
Well,
I know
Nelly,
you told me I need
Nelly
to
is
go,
in the fanciest
but I've
place
never
with
gone.
the bougiest of people. You
I
know,
said
they
I'm gonna
drink
have
their
to get in the car and
farts
try
with
it
their
out
pinkies
because
out.
it seems to be all the rage.
I will send you a list of my best recommendations when you go to Trader Joe's.
Curious.
So is it their store brand? Is it that they carry? Like, is there like a Trader
Yes.
Joe's store brand so it's available at all of them?
Yes, at their Trader
Oh.
Joe's store, yes. Yes, so it's their own products.
Let me put on my mink coat and go check out Trader Joe's.
Kelly,
Not
what are
for
you
me,
sipping on?
My mink coat. I have coffee because
Kelly, what kind of cup is that? That's not the cup we drink out of.
LSU.
Ooh, Tigers, boo.
Kelly's not even on brand today.
You know what I'm saying? Where's your mug, Kelly?
listen.
Do you work at this podcast or not?
I was fighting for my life this evening. I told y'all. So I started feeling bad, so I came home early because I wanted to be ready for tonight. And so, in my infinite wisdom, because this is just how on brand I am today, I grabbed the NyQuil instead of the DayQuil. And the moment I took it, I said, that tasted different. And so I was like, I'm going to be asleep if I don't get some caffeine in my soul. So I'm not on brand, but I'm awake. You're welcome.
Well, your commitment to us is duly noted. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You could have been sipping coffee out of your clear mug, but I digress.
I'm going to take this up with the board members because I don't know about this. I don't know.
Not the
what
board
type of-
member. Is this the board? Because this is it. Like, this is... Nelly, you're officially a tomfoolery board member, just so you know. You've been voted in. Boom.
Thank you.
We do need a tiebreaker just in case me and Lee are on opposing sides.
I honestly think the girlies in the Game of Thrones buddy read, that's the board. If they're willing to read Game of Thrones, that is the board, okay?
Nelly, are you reading this?
Board of K,
No.
whatever it is.
You should have just said yes so you could have been in a group chat.
I
because
want you
this
to
is
know.
wild.
I reached out to Nelly all
Lie
kind.
and say, yeah, I was going to read it. I'm not reading that.
I reached out to Nelly very kindly, and she said the quickest and the most polite no thank you.
Now, is it because
like,
you
how
don't
do
do fantasy? Or
I
you
don't
just
do
not-
fantasy. I have not read a fantasy book yet. I know.
This just got so interesting. Oh.
Chanel.
But is it weird that I want to go see the movie, The Children of the that Corn
Blood and
Blood
Bone?
movie with the
Not the
whole
Corn Blood.
the whole black horse? I don't know what the name of the book is, but I thought of
Corn or the blood or something.
Blood and Bone. It is so good, but you see Lee's buffering right now because you just said
Not
you-
buffering. I'm not frozen.
No, you're buffering for sure because you haven't moved.
Don't say it again, Nelly, because she might log off on you. Okay?
She's
okay.
quick to hit a log off.
I thought she knew that.
We didn't know that. We just
I
felt like
actually
you
didn't
read
know that.
everything with everybody.
Okay, something you need to know about me, Nelly, is I'm a pusher. It's what I do. And I want you to know that I don't even do thriller, but I read a thriller with you because you asked last week. Okay? It doesn't matter that it wasn't scary. We didn't know that it wasn't thrilling when we went in. I went in thinking that I was going to be terrified, but I did that for you.
This is my sister's a serial killer, right?
Yeah.
That's what y'all right?
Yeah.
I did that for you. So you're gonna owe me a fantasy. I'm not going to tell you when I'm gonna call in my favor.
She's like,
He is the
I'm
godfather.
gonna call in a
So
favor.
you know.
Okay, deal. I mean, I told Kelly I'll read a horror book with her, so deal.
You sure did. I don't know why you
She's
did
gonna read a
that.
horror. My post popped off today.
You was up
It did.
early this morning.
It was
too
early. I
for
didn't even have
me.
coffee yet.
That's what it was. I knew it. I said something's going on with Nelly.
It
But
was
she agreed for that.
early in the morning for that one cover with that face on.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's why as soon as I seen it, I said, wait, is it not too early in the morning? What's happening here?
No. And it apparently hit all the thriller girly souls because
It
that
sure
It did.
I said, I don't found our tribe. I'll throw the tribe.
I'm excited.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't get new followers. I was like, okay, come through.
Meanwhile, I'm like, where the fantasy girls at?
Apparently,
Where
we
y'all
don't have
at?
any. We
It
have to
ain't Nelly.
convert them all. We have to go spread the good news and convert them.
Well, speaking of buddy reads, this is, first of all, we want to acknowledge this is our first ever podcast episode with a guest. And so
Period.
to formally introduce Nelly, her handle is Foodie Nelly. She is not just on Booksta. She is a lifestyle blogger, really. It's food, it's travel, it's books, but we found out by accident that we all knew you through buddy reads. And so it's like, oh, you know Nelly? I know Nelly. And I think it started off with, I'm on a buddy read with this person, and they read so fast. And I think we were like, you know someone like that. And then it's like, you know somebody like that. And then we all realized it's the same person.
It was
because
the same person.
you read 600
left
pages
us
a
in the
minute.
dust.
Do y'all remember that Michael Jackson song, Speed Demon? I don't know if y'all had the game on the Wii and you would just... Anywho, this is going over your heads, but whatever. Nelly's a speed demon. Okay, first of all, y'all didn't have childhoods because the Michael Jackson game on the Wii, okay, was you just had to be there. Top tier.
You're a whole generation younger than us. We don't know that stuff.
Nelly, it's not polite to ask a lady her age, but help me out. Were you born in the 80s or 90s?
90s.
Do you recall the Wii, the Nintendo Wii?
Yes. Yes.
I have to ask. Okay, so you recall the Just Dance phase?
Yes.
I remember that.
Okay, so it happened around the same time, but it was Michael Jackson specific.
Yeah, no,
And you know
not
what?
ringing a bell.
I just feel sorry for you all because, like I said, you had to be there.
Well,
I'm glad you
Now that we've
enjoyed
had
your
that
Michael
Wii
Jackson
moment.
game.
Speed Demon. That was the point. She's Michael Jackson's Speed Demon.
Okay,
got
great.
you.
Not demon part though.
Nelly, talk about it. This is why you needed to read that fantasy book, and we could have talked about it.
Yeah, because she don't play with them demons either. She's like, why has it got to be a demon?
Struggled that whole episode, child. We calling
Don't
on the
worry.
Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Don't worry. I'm thinking of the perfect fantasy to introduce you. And don't worry. I'm a
Don't
guy.
push me long.
She's going to push you in. She is. But
I'm
I
a
will
rub you
say, don't commit to anything you're not willing to stick to because Lee takes it personal. She behaves as if she wrote the book. And now that you personally offended her, so... But I will say, as a new fantasy girl, because God forbid I say I'm not a fantasy girl, because Lee will end me. I think there are some good ones for people who maybe are into like the high fantasy. There are some good ones out there, and Lee is more than happy to usually shepherd someone on that journey. So I would recommend.
Got a perfect one for Nelly.
Oh, what are you thinking, Lee? What you thinking?
The Hunger Games. Y'all, the Hunger Games. We're here, Nelly.
Hey, those are my movies. I've seen all the movies.
Okay.
Seen all the
Okay.
movies. those are good movies. So possibly it'll be a good book too.
Don't look at
I
them. Look
see
at
it.
me, Nelly. Look at
I
me.
got you.
Okay.
But
Perfect.
y'all enjoy the Hunger Games because I will never. Okay. Well, with that being said, first, tell us what landed you in the bookish space. So how long have you been on Booksta? What made you start one? How did you start your journey in the bookish space?
Okay, so it started last year, around February. It's one of my coworkers gave me one of the books by Candy Ryan before I let go. She said, "Oh, read this book. I think you'll like it." I'm like, "Okay, I don't know nothing about this book or author or anything like that." I ate that book up, and I said, "You got any more?"
She walked up.
I
She
was
was like,
like,
"Hey,
Hey,
you got that hardcover?"
"Right."
Uh,
what they say? Spectacular. I'll take 14 of them.
That was the
Yeah.
first one. Next, told me to do Housemaid. That's how I knew romance and thriller was something I liked. So I stuck
Good
to
for you.
those. Yes. I didn't switch my Instagram over to a Booksta till May. I went to Hawaii and I finished the Housemaid first one and the second one on the flights. And I said, "Ooh, these are good."
Did you
And
see
then I
that
got on
collecting
TikTok.
video? We all
I was
on
like,
the
"Wait."
flight.
She said both of them on the flights.
On the,
Yeah, I did
this
the
is
first one
Sterling
going, the
Station
second one.
TV.
Nelly's like that guy that's like,
She's like, excellent.
excellent. Loved it. 5
I
stars.
mean, it was just so many books,
4.5
and she
stars.
kept giving me recommendations. Archer's Voice, by Mia. I think that's her name.
Mia
Um,
Sheridan.
yes, and that was just, it touched my heart. I was just like, "Oh, this is so nice and heartwarming. Like, this is sweet." Like, I felt connected to the character. I just started falling in love with it. I didn't imagine going from food as a foodie blogger into books. Like, I was like, I don't even know how to switch my page over. Like, where do I start? Like, how do I just transition? Like, I'm gonna lose my followers. They want to see books now. Like, they're all looking at food. Like, I've been posting food when I go out to eat. But mind you, the food community is nice, but it's so competitive. It's so different from the book community. Everyone in the book community is so welcoming, like, so sweet. Like, "Oh, here, share my post. I share your post." You got the buddy reads that you meet people. You guys are 3 hours, 5 hours away, but it's like you're right here. You can't hang out and go to a bookstore like you want to, but you can connect with people in a community that you feel welcome. And I felt welcome in the book community. And that's how I've been. And now I'm obsessed with reading because I'm 24/7. I just sit here and read my Kindle. I'm emotionally detached right now from the Kindle because it's not in front of me, you know. But once I got a Kindle for my birthday, it was over.
It was a wrap. I love
Nelly,
that.
now I do have a question for you. Do you still keep up just as much with your food as you do with your book page?
For some people, because I have my favorites of my food people I still communicate with. So yes, some people. But you know how Instagram is with it don't show you everybody. It shows what they want to show you. So you have to go search and look for certain people. So I have a close friends and I have favorites. So I'll still go and support their page and things like that. But then that's
Yeah.
when I just like figure out I still like food. I still eat. I still do lifestyle. I'm going to blend all this together. Now, I
Yeah.
didn't want to change my name because I love my name, Foodie Nelly. It just goes. You know, some people are like, "Oh, change your name with something with books." And I was like, no, I can't think of nothing creative. Like, I came up with this name in Toronto. It was 2019, I think. That's when I first made my food page. I was like, this is my name. I have a whole hoodie with my name, a bottle, everything that is my brand. So, like, I'm not changing my name. They just gonna have to realize Foodie Nelly is a book person now.
She's a book person.
Yeah.
She's a book lover. So I made my bio, you know, it says foodie, books, lifestyle, vibes. And that's who I am.
Period. But for me, now that I have two separate pages, I had to tell my friends, you're gonna have to add this book page and send me your gifts and your memes because I'm getting cussed out for ignoring people. I'm like, I don't see what's going on over there. I don't be on that page.
The pages are neglected. They're completely neglected.
They
I'm
are.
like,
I
I never,
barely post. T added me not too long ago, and I'm like, I'm not even on there that much, but I try to stay active. I'll post every now and then, but I'm like, hit the Foodie Nelly page. You want to see what I'm doing in my life because that's where I'm at.
Yeah,
maybe she's
I be all up
times
in
I'm
the
not doing two
stories.
places. What'd you say, T?
I said I'll be all up in Nelly's stories. Girl, what you doing? Where you going this weekend? Yeah, this festival look nice. Who you there
T
with?
is the lurker. I think
I
that's
do
how
be
everyone like.
lurking.
T's just gonna be there like. You just gonna see it. She's gonna like. She's gonna respond. Cause yeah, T, you be finding the people. You really do. And I feel like I don't connect with people as quickly. And then I'll be like, oh, I found this new page, and T will be like, oh, I love her. I'm like, ain't nobody asked you, T. Been following her
Yes, but
content.
Kelly has
like,
the words for people. I'd be ready to block people. Block. I don't know what you want me to say, person. I can't. This is stressful. I don't like it.
So obviously, yeah, I think we all agree the bookish space is probably one of the most positive. Now, obviously, there's a dark side of every space on the internet, but I think again, one of the things we all have connected on are the buddy reads. So it sounds like you're fairly new to reading. Your blog space for the reading is fairly new. How long did it take you to do your first buddy read? Do you remember what your first buddy read was?
Ooh, I believe it was in the summertime. And why do I feel like it was Curvy Girl Summer as a group buddy read, but I was already buddy reading with Jay for certain things because we had got arcs. She got me into the advanced copies with NetGalley. But I want to say Curvy Girl Summer was my first group buddy read.
And
I feel like that was before the kids. Yeah. I think that was before the kids countdown. So I think, yeah.
Kelly, I have to interject here. That was y'all first buddy read. Y'all all decided okay, so I need to set the stage for you.
Wait,
Nelly.
you didn't read Curvy Girl Summer with us?
I did because I bogarted my way in like a freight train. Okay, I need you to know that me, Kelly, and T were building community. Okay? They both decided to team up with y'all, read Curvy Girl Summer, and they were posting about it in their stories. And I was like, wow, I would love to read that book. And they were like, yeah, we're reading it with a group of women. So at this point, Nelly, you and I had just been, we didn't really know each other yet, but we had been friendly, liking each other's stuff. So I seen you posted. I was like, hey, girl, I want to read this. You were like, join us. Let me send you the link. And I was like, thank you, Nelly.
So I would like to refer back to the statement I said that Lee takes it personal. It was not personal. So Nellie and I are the same, and I have like my thriller buddy read people. So Tina Boo reads and Book Talk with Jay. Those are my thriller buddy reads. And then I had
Tina Boo owed me a buddy read too. Let me get on and
you
get
want to
in
collect
her.
your debt.
Get in her
And
DM.
so I think with the Curvy Girl Summer, I wasn't even planning on reading that initially. And I think it just started in a chat, and then I'm like, oh, somebody else wants it. So it was not a conspiracy to leave you out, Lee. It just manifested. I'm sorry.
Even if it
I
was
was new.
conspiracy,
I didn't know.
even if it was a
We're still new to it.
I debunked that conspiracy.
Okay, it's debunked now. It
I-
hadn't been
I
debunked at
Bound
the
that
time.
up. Debunked. I bound that up and sent that back to Satan where it belongs. That leave out spirit. Okay. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Anyway, I don't know how many times we have to rehash this in family therapy, but apparently Lee's not over it yet. So
I got to sit on Dr. Apple Pie's couch about this.
You do. You do have to.
with Avant to your left
Have
and
y'all read
Nate to your
Lemon
right.
Pepper?
Mm-mm.
Nelly, what's
That's
that face?
that's Nina too, isn't it?
Never
It
heard
is.
of it.
Oh.
Yeah. So have you
Yeah,
read
that's
any
Nina.
of Nina's book, like Front Street Porter, Reckless Love, On Us?
No, but On Us is on my list. It's on my May
Nelly,
list.
Get to it. Get
It's
to
on
it.
it's for May. I was
Okay,
working
it's
on
for
my May list today.
The way Lee feels about fantasy, I feel about them Porter brothers. Like, you are going to need to circle back and let us know
You're
how you
going
feel
to
about
have
these
to,
books.
Nelly. Get all up in them DMs with us.
It's chaos. It's chaos. I'm going to tell you this. It's complete chaos. It's shenanigans, but I have never
Which one are you
loved
going to start
these
with?
characters more than I love the Porter brothers.
Where do I start? How about that question?
So we had our theory, right? So we I think in chronological order, Front Street is book
Let's have
one.
Front Street.
Okay.
But it can be a bit of a trauma dump. So if you start with On Us and read On Us 1, 2, and 3, it gives you a chance to really fall in love with the characters, and then we circle back to Front Street Porter. And so at least you have, because if you read Front Street, it might just punch you in the throat, and you might be like, this is too much. Like, it's too much happening with these children. But we did On Us 1, 2, and 3, then Front Street. Then we started reading The Brothers, and we did Clearwater, and then Reckless Love. And then
see, I didn't know it was that many.
Yes. And then Hassan's book, which Nina, we are still waiting for you to give us our book.
Nina, you pop up every episode, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah, because she still hasn't run us a book. So.
And let us buy Hassan.
Yes. So Hassan is no longer in print, and she's not selling it, and so that's the father's story. But we need that. We need it.
We need that.
And then the next book is supposed to come out as the next year, which is Dim's book, right?
We never got a date.
We don't have a date.
So there's plenty of them, but I do think that the speed at which you read, I think you'll eat them up. I think you can eat those
especially
up.
On Us 1 through 3. You eating it up.
Yes.
Eating it up.
Catch a flight and get some books, because you will tear through those. It's a lot. Okay, so now that we know how you got here, you love buddy reads. What is your buddy read ick? Because we all have red flags. We'll get to your red flags in a minute, but what is something that when you're in buddy read with somebody, you're just like, no, not today?
Oh my God, I never thought about any. I guess I'm easy going, so I'm easy going. I don't think I have any. Nothing.
How about this?
I can't.
How about I go and you think about it? Because I know you got one. You just got to think about it. You got to think about it, okay?
Please is not being invited on day 1, minute 1, hour 1. That's her ick.
Kelly, it's my turn. It's my turn. My ick, okay, is when the buddy read sets up either a storygraph, a fable, a text message, whatever you want to do, whatever the group decides, and everybody's quiet. My ick is when I'm talking to myself in whatever thing we've decided.
She got in that Game of Thrones chat and was like, nobody's in Fable. I'm talking to myself. I was like, she's such a bully.
And here's the thing. I understand that people, because this happens to you and I, Nelly, where it was like, okay, well, we don't really want to be in this app, so we'll just start talking in the DMs. I'm fine. I don't need a rigid structure like a storygraph or a fable. If it's a text message, it's a text message. Or we used to have a system in our group chat where we would put like a little present thing in Instagram around, or we would say, if we were going to do a voice note, we would say, this is a spoiler for chapter 12. I'm fine with that too. It doesn't have to be organized. But the whole purpose of a buddy read is for us to debrief in some type of way, either during or at the end. And so if people don't talk to me, that will be the first and the last buddy read I will ever do with those people again.
And she's gonna make it known, like T says, she's gonna be like, "Is this thing on? Is there anybody else here?"
Let me tell you how much of a bully she is, Nelly, because we keep talking about this great Game of Thrones chat, which was a Legendborn chat to begin with.
Fair play.
Me and Lee got invited late and random, and she didn't like that. She said, why wasn't I invited when y'all started this? And it was like, oh, we was just talking about it. We didn't even start it. She was like, now that I'm here, though, how about we don't read your book? How about we read Game of Thrones?
Okay, well, first of all, T is telling the story. It's a half truth.
I remember it too.
No, it's a half truth. First of all, I was not the only one. T was also mad. T was also mad she didn't get invited to the Legendborn, but she omitted that. We got in the chat.
They didn't really invite us. We just bullied our way in there.
Yes, but you left out that you did too. We bullied our way in the chat. I agreed to read Legendborn, and I still very much want to read Legendborn, and I said, hey, we're also reading Game of Thrones. Anybody want to join? Everybody was like, yeah. And they were like, and I said, when do y'all want to start Legendborn? And they said, oh, we're just going off vibes. We didn't really have an idea. When did you want to read Game of Thrones? And I was like, actually, I already had a pacing guide. Because I'm just a type A person, so I genuinely already had a pacing guide. So the group was like, well, okay, we'll just push this off today. And I was like, excellent. Let's start Game of Thrones tomorrow. Like, that's how that happened.
It was like this. Excellent. It wasn't a high beating. Excellent. No, it was like.
It was very much Pinky in the Brain trying to take over the world. Yeah.
She came in and she was like, this is what I'm going to do. If y'all are not going to invite me on day one,
I'm going to take this thing over.
Mess. And this is now the Lee show. And y'all will read what I want you to read as quickly as I want you to read it. That's okay, though. See, what's your buddy read it?
I don't know. I don't have one.
Y'all cannot be well, it actually would make sense that y'all would.
Me and Nelly are pretty easygoing, though.
Yeah, because I'm a little wound tight, so.
You and Lee are the same person, right?
We very much are.
There you go.
We very much are. So I think my ick is when conversations are happening in several places. I can't handle that. I can't. If we're going to be in Fable, we're going to be in Fable. If we're going to be in Storygraph.
What about you being in a group chat and then making a separate group chat? Isn't that two different places?
Oh my God. It's not. I'm going to tell you why. It's not because they're both in Messenger. Therefore, I'm going to the same space. And what this is not going to turn into is trial by fire. We're not going to do that, okay?
Nelly, I feel like we have to give you context. You heard what Kelly just said about how she doesn't like it to be in two separate places. I invited folks out of the kindness of my heart to celebrate me finishing my doctorate degree. I said I want to go on a quest with my best girlies. I let them choose the series we're going to do. They chose Game of Thrones. To be clear, I was not going to choose Game of Thrones. I was going to choose the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. That means nothing to you because you're not a fantasy girl, but I'll teach you, okay?
I feel like you should have just picked that to begin with. Game of Thrones is
They chose Game of Thrones, okay? And on the same day, I found out, it's my story. On the same day,
let her lie.
I found out on the live recording, I found out that Kelly started a separate group chat with my people. Well, I guess they're kind of her people that I took over.
They are her people, very much her people.
Started a separate group chat with my people, talking about the people who watched the show versus those who didn't. She formed a coup.
She sure did.
And then I also found out that T wasn't reading the book for real. And I had enough. I went ahead and clocked out. I had enough that day.
She sure did.
Literally, we were in this exact setting you see right now, and all of a sudden she just did bloop and disappeared.
Just popped right out.
And like 90 seconds later, she came back and she said, I'm processing this right now. So I would like to, if I could defend myself in this space, it was not the same day, ma'am. We're being dramatic. It was not the same day.
I'm not saying you did it the same day. I found out about it on the
Okay, you did find out the same day. So if you're not familiar with Game of Thrones, there was a whole series on HBO. There was like 4 of us who had already seen the entire series. There was a spoiler. So mind you, I don't mind spoilers. Spoilers won't stop me from reading the book because if I want to read it, I'm going to read it. Not everybody feels that way. Lee does not like spoilers. A spoiler had already been dropped once by accident by somebody else. And I had typed out a spoiler at least 3 times and remembered and backed it out. So I got to thinking, I was like, I sent these 2 other people a message and I was like, I keep almost spoiling things. And da-da-da-da-da. And so then they were like, same. And did you see what I said the other day? And I was like, we're going to end up ruining it. And so that was just a chat that we had the space to say like, blah, 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 without ruining it for everybody else. I literally thought I was doing a kindness by not spoiling this experience with you. But of course, that is not how that was received.
Nelly, I just want to say, that
You were being sneaky is what it was.
even if I believed that Kelly did it out the kindness of her heart, for her to come in Beyonce's internet and say she hates when multiple conversations about the same things going on in two different spaces, to T's point, the two different group chats that you curated.
Multiple platforms. See, because I didn't get a chance to finish before you came from my neck. I don't want it in different places, as in Fable versus Storygraph versus Messenger or text message. I just need to be in one. I want to go to one place for it. It's chaotic for me to be like, oh, we're talking about it here, and then we're talking about it there. So I just like it all to be in one space. That's all.
that.
Thank you. Really was like,
Even
I
though
didn't come here.
sometimes I have
just-
conversations with people texting and then Instagram, two different conversations on two different apps. But that's different with the books, though.
Yeah.
I get you, girl.
I want that structure. I know if I'm going here to talk about this book, I want to go there.
Yeah.
But I'm about to get this heat off of my back because this is not about me today. This is about Nelly. And
You've been pardoned, Kelly. We don't have to even discuss it anymore. You've been pardoned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because double jeopardy is coming into play here at this point. I'm being retried for crimes I've been exonerated of. So
No, you hadn't been exonerated before today. But that's fine.
That was
double
for something
jeopardy.
else, Kelly. You don't get to roll over exonerations for different things.
why not?
That's not how that works.
Well, we'll just agree to disagree. Okay. So, moving on, Nelly. Like, she quit giving her a front row seat to our family drama, okay?
That's our business.
Company. We have company. Put the family drama away. Okay. So you say you do romance and you say you do thrillers. What is it that draws you into each of those? Because obviously we each have a different tropes that we love and subgenres. So for a romance and a thriller, what is it about those two that's going to really say like, this is 5 stars for me. This is going to just be a forever read, 5-star, infinity star for those genres.
I'll start with the thriller. I feel like a thriller from that first chapter, if it's about a missing person or a kidnapping or your cheating spouse, that first chapter gotta draw me in. I gotta feel like, oh, okay, this is gonna be good. Cause sometimes I go in blind. I just read the cover. I'm like, oh, okay, it sounds good. I'm gonna just read this book. It's a thriller. It had good reviews, even though sometimes I don't trust people's reviews, but that's a different story. Because like you said, you're going to read a book regardless. If you want to read a book, you're going to read it, regardless of what somebody else says. Like, I feel like that's what I want to read. But I feel like with me, because that's how I started with people recommending a thriller and versus romance, like that's where I stayed in those two genres. Like, but I figured out what I like. So like with romance, I love a friends to lovers. I love a fake dating. Like for some reason, that fake dating that turned to a real love, I'm like, oh, see, I knew y'all gonna have that connection. Like you gotta fake it till you make it, baby. You make it real. You know, the marriage of convenience. I'm like, yeah, this gonna end up real. Like I don't want to predict it, but I'm like, it's bound to happen. You're in that one bed, like it's going to happen. Like I'm in love. Yes. And I think for romance, for me, like, if I feel connected, like, oh my God, this is how I picture maybe my romance life. Like, oh, that felt like, okay, I want to be that main female character. Like, okay, that was the perfect gentleman. It's not about him being a millionaire, him being rich. It's how he treats her. But yeah, it's just like, I feel like that's what the romance, like, I just got to feel like, oh, I want to be that girl. Like that man, like that's who I want. I'm single. So all these fantasy men, these fictional men, I'm trying to put them all into one. Let me build my man up. Let me build him up out of all these books. So I think that's what the romance, like, I feel like I got to be connected for it to be a good romance. Like, I know the cheesy ones, the fluffy ones that you just, read in between. Like, oh, okay, that was cheesy, but okay, it's a Lifetime movie or some Hallmark. Just gave me some cheesy vibes, but it still felt good. I got to feel good when I'm reading.
Yeah.
Agreed. And the thriller one's got to keep me on my edge of my seat. You got me want to keep on turning that page, Sometimes you're like, oh, I'm only supposed to read 6 chapters. Oop, I read 10. Sorry. Because the book just kept getting good.
No, sometimes she just reads the whole book.
Out the window.
Yes,
I got better.
You did.
Huh?
Nelly
You
did
have to talk
get
about
better. You did get better. Yes, you got
Yes,
better.
thank you.
You did. Sorry, y'all. I put my hands up because I talk too much and I don't want to interrupt. So that's when you see this. Boop, it's just
No,
you
usually it's like this.
But I just have a question. So, can you give us an example of your favorite thriller and your favorite romance? Like you mentioned all of the tropes that are right up our alley, but give us an example.
Right now, my favorite romance is I'm with the Gray Puffington T. She got me into her series right now. So, starting back with Lyric and Luca, like whew, that whole series right there, that was it right there for me. Like that just opened some doors for me. That opened some doors. So, and no, I can't give you a favorite. So don't ask me who was my favorite. I can't go there. Can't go there. And as far as the
Can you
thriller,
rank the men? Can you rank the men, or is that too difficult?
Luca's number one. Luca's number one.
Period.
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know why, but and then
You said what you
he was
said. You said Luca. But it's fine.
he's number one. And it was because the first one I read, and I just got connected to him.
It be like that
But
sometimes.
yeah, chemistry was good. I liked him, but I just feel like he's just too overprotective of sisters. But I get that. I guess as an only child, I don't have an older brother, so I have no sisters. I don't know what that protectiveness is. I just like he's overbearing. But if that's who he is, that's who he is. I'm glad he
So
got
it's
who he got.
Luca. It's Luca over all the M's. None of the M's did it for you. Not Malachi, not Mercer, not Makai,
Milo.
Milo, not none of them.
Okay, which one? Because like I said, I'll read a book and forget about it 6 months later. Which one who had the ex-girlfriend that it was like almost like a second chance, and she was a boss. I kept saying she was a boss. Like I don't know if that was Malachi. I don't
I
know
think it
which
was
one it
Milo, the
was.
doctor, the
Yeah, 'cause
doctor
she's a
Yes,
doctor.
situation.
yes, yes, yeah. That storyline was.
Interesting. Interesting. You see, and Milo was my least favorite of all the great men, but you see,
All of
it
them.
doesn't matter.
He didn't even make the list. It's unfortunate.
He was
We just have a love-hate relationship.
Nobody wants to hear about your hate relationship with Gray Huffington.
So here's
Did
the
you
thing.
see though? My man finally got a book though. I'll put him in my stories twice.
Let me tell you why Kelly and I have. Let me tell you why Kelly and I have beef. I'm sorry. This is just going to. We should rename this episode to "No One Wins When the Family Feuds." So I have to air my grievances out right now. So when Kelly first started getting into Grey, I was so excited. It was like, when you're a kid.
I don't think we realized who Kelly was in this space yet.
We're just gonna air out all the dirty laundry, Nelly, and I hope you're okay with that. I told Kalindra, okay, because when she's behaving badly, her name is
Kalindra. Yes.
I told Kalindra my favorite book in the whole series is Ledge. Do you know that this beautiful, wholesome woman,
Period.
quit the book before Ledge?
Right before Ledge.
She literally, I get it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Quit. She quit the book before Ledge.
He read Liam. You read Liam, right?
Yeah, she read Liam. She even
and then just quit Ledge. And I was like, how?
She just quit. And I told her that Ledge was one of my favorites.
How?
She even told us how to get the audiobook. She even downloaded, or at least she told me.
I think I downloaded it, yeah.
And just quit. And no matter how much I begged and pleaded, I said, I know you're done. Just give me one more, because this is my favorite. She was like, no.
But can we also appreciate the fact that it has just one of my top 5 least favorite tropes in every book. I don't like the pregnancy trope. I don't like it, and maybe having babies on top of babies on top of babies in Grey's, but I was done at that point. And then even Liam had to mess around and bring home some twins. I was like, why are there always just babies?
I will say there was also a baby in Ledge, but the way, I'm going to fangirl a little bit. Gray wrote about a disability in Ledge that like a lot of people, it's not a common one, and a lot of people don't know. And she wrote about it with such precision and such accuracy that I felt like I was the main character suffering and going through it. And to me, that was the first time I've really seen the range in her writing.
Kelly's not going to feel
The next
that
time I
way.
seen it was in Malachi.
Because I didn't feel that way.
You didn't feel that way. You didn't like Ledge.
I did not like Ledge, but no, it's nowhere near the top.
I don't know. It did something. It did something to me, for me. I love that book. I love that book down. And I'm not going to reread it just in case I'm wrong. But I love that book down. I said what I said. I said what I said.
Fantasy world and just delusional. Got it.
Yeah.
You have, and that's what you have to do, though. You have to read it a second time just to make sure. Because when I read Nina, I read it by myself, right? And then with y'all, I had to reread it just in case. I could have been like, never mind, y'all. This was just exhilarating first read of, back into reading of my adult life. I don't know what I was thinking. Sorry.
You're so humble. How does it feel to know that the one and only completed series that Kelly will ever read, she read with you? Because it was. You feel like that girl, don't you? Because Kelly ain't never gonna do it again.
Kelly
Don't you feel
almost
like that
did it,
girl?
though, because remember Kelly was ready to bail out, and and then she couldn't stick to it. I think that's funny though. I don't want to read Clearwater. Okay.
Yeah. I think
now I have to
done
read it. If you don't, Kelly.
Yeah. No, because so this is how I'm telling you, this is how T will do you. Because you'll be like, yeah, I think I'm done. And she'll be like, okay. And it's not just like an okay. You'll be like, well, I mean, I can read it.
Okay.
No, you don't have to read it. And I'm like, well, I know I don't have to, but otherwise you're like, no, you don't want to read it, and that's fine. And so then I was like, I feel like I gotta read it now. And then she was like, no. And it's always in a soft voice, no. Kalindra, I'm telling you, you said you don't want to read it.
You don't want to read
You don't
it.
have to read it. And then in my mind, I'm getting that FOMO. So
I'm like, me and Lee will read this book, and then we will pick you back up on the next book because we know you want to read that book.
She Jedi mind tricked me.
And she loved that book. That's like one of her favorites.
I did love it, and it was the point where I had stopped, and like 3 days later, I was just like back in the group chat, like I miss the Porter Boys. Like my life is empty and full of a void. I need to read it. That's why I feel like if you pick it up, you are going to.
Nelly, this is right up the alley where we be. It's
Okay.
right up that way.
Definitely read it. I'm gonna read it. I will.
So
Well,
if you're
Nelly, let
romance-
me ask you a question.
Oh,
Can
go
I
ahead.
ask you a question, y'all? Is that okay?
Yeah.
How
Absolutely.
you read so fast?
The people want to know.
Inquirer minds need to know how. You
Everyone-
say, T, this book just came out 2 hours ago. And I say, okay, I just got to chapter 5. You're like, yeah, I'm done. Here's my Goodreads review. Okay, ma'am.
Has she read it? She has made her template on Canva for her review. She has scheduled the post. And we're just like, prologue.
Like, I know I had to work today, but oh. 2 hours off away from the book and you're done.
I think that's gonna be my secret. I think that's just gonna be my secret.
Ooh. Because I was convinced. I was like, well, she's got to be listening to audiobooks on like ×5. And then she messaged me back and she was like, the funny thing is I don't even like audiobooks. And I'm like, how?
And she's always reading like 3 books at a time because she'll post like, buddy read with this person, buddy read with this. And I'm like, so she just finishes each book in 2 hours. Just done. I'm good.
I'm better now. I pace myself. Now I read only a certain amount of chapters, so now it takes me more than 3 days or 2 days to read a book. There's no more 1 day with a book. So yeah, my favorite thrillers would be Never Lie would be my first one by Frida, and then I got into The Coworker. The Housemaid series is really good.
Frida be cranking out books though. Frida
She
be
do.
writing.
It's like
a
every-
book.
I have this
A practicing
manuscript from
physician.
high school.
Yes.
Throw that out there.
And I'm reading A Boyfriend right now, and this one is good.
Now I've
Ooh,
heard good things about the boyfriend.
it's good.
I have a boyfriend on my shelf. You
If I
see,
wasn't buddy reading, I probably would be done with this book already. But it
You want to
is
finish
good.
something, don't you?
Nelly's
Type.
learned how to pace herself. I remember
Oh,
the first time she asked me, she was like, "How many chapters?" I said, "Are you talking to me? I didn't know you did this kind of thing."
it's because of someone else that's on here. She got me
so
into it.
so the funny thing is, I was gonna take credit for that, but y'all like to say that I'm a big pick me. But I was like, listen, Nelly, the first buddy read we did together, she was done on the second day, and I said, I'm only on chapter 5. And then I felt pressured into putting everything else I was reading down to finish it.
I think I had a date off, and I was reading with Nelly, and she still beat me. And she was like, "Yeah, I just got off work," and I'm like, "All right, I don't know how to do this."
Just be waving a white flag and be like, whatever, the book was great.
So now I'd be like, Nelly, there's 35 chapters. Let's read this many chapters a day. We'll finish up on Friday.
I try to keep Nelly engaged though. I try to give her like 10 chapters. I'd be like, "Okay, it's only gonna take us like 4 days to read this." She's like, "Okay, I can do 10 chapters." Cause sometimes it gets good, and 4 to 5 chapters don't be enough. You be like,
Exactly. I'm like,
"Yeah."
oh,
Now, I will say, I do think that as a mood reader, you do have to chase the vibes, though. I feel like if you really are reading it, and you're telling me, like, you couldn't put it down, I don't ever want to be the buddy reader who'd be like, stop. Because I'm telling you, I'm not going to stop.
For sure.
I did
yeah.
not let you know that I didn't stop, and I might still just paste my
Oh, you
comment.
have to. You have to.
But
I
I
make notes
didn't finish the book.
about where it has ended and what I can talk about up to, because
But you got to tell somebody, I'm okay with you chasing the vibes if you let me know. Say, and
Nelly
T
will be
does a
like,
really good
"Listen,
job at
I'm about to
this.
finish this book up." I'll be like, "Yes, ma'am. We finishing today. Okay.
Yes.
That's 27 chapters I gotta read. Let's
He is
get to
actually
it."
a perfect buddy reader because T be like, this was good to me, so I'm going to read on one more. And I'm like, okay, you read on one more. I know where she is at every step of the way.
That's true.
I'm horrible.
And I like
Because
to do
if I'm doing an
check-ins.
audiobook, I'm just listening. And I have lost the fact that I have read 10 chapters. And now I'm just
Yes.
like,
Yes.
I'm in it now. I might as well just run it. So might as well finish it.
Especially if
Kelly
it's
doesn't care about her buddy reading friends though. But
I do. I do. And it's so hard because
no, you don't. I've read with you plenty of times.
I
You
do
don't-
see.
you
I
care
do
about
care.
yourself.
I do care. But I feel like it's feast or famine for me. I'm either going to eat it up and I'm either going to stay on pace like a chapter 2 ahead, or I'm going to get so far behind. And so I feel like I would rather get ahead so that I can still engage with the book and with y'all than get behind, because which book is it?
Where's
I
the
think it was,
tomato button on here? Tomato. Can you edit that in
I don't
there?
receive your tomatoes today.
Every tomato I say, just put tomatoes on the screen. Can you do that?
So I
Just
think
edit
it
that?
was Iron Flame. I got behind on, I think. And then when you get behind, it is like, for me, after a while, I'm like, I don't care. I don't even want to finish it because y'all are done. And so I try to stay engaged. So I
Is
feel
that
like,
what was wrong with you doing Iron Flame?
yeah, I was just like, I don't care anymore. Don't care. And then I'm like, I was so far behind. And then they're
Yeah,
like,
but you
"Ooh,
had stuff
I
going
was like,
on. Like, we did not care. Me and Lee, that did not bother us not one bit.
But my mind just turns off. I was like, when I get too far behind, and just like right now, if I don't keep picking it up, like I said I was going to finish Let Me Love You. Big South. Isn't that what it's called? I put it down and asked me if I figured finish that book.
Oh, you got like 20 pages left.
That's what I'm saying. If I put it down for like 2 days, my brain is like, oh, well, that's a thing of the past. Move on with your life.
The fact that Kelly don't be needing answers, it really boggles my mind.
It bothers them. I can read one book of a series. I can read book 3 and
That
not read
part
book 1 and
doesn't
2.
bother me, but when she just is in the reading a book and then puts it down and she's like, well, and I'm like,
It's gotta really keep me engaged. And so Yeah, so I know I'm terrible at buddy reading, and that's why I think I did that post. I was like, before we buddy read, here are some things you need to know about me, because toxic is over here when I buddy read. I'm just letting you know. In my mind, I am like the perfect buddy reader. In my mind.
What makes you think you're the perfect buddy reader, Killa?
Because I enjoy myself during the process.
I mean, but what attributes is just like, no, I'm probably a great buddy reader.
I engage as long as I'm on schedule. Now, again, if I get off schedule, I'm just going to shut up. I'm not going to say anything because I have nothing to say. Lee, I don't appreciate your stoic face right now. I feel like I bring a unique je ne sais quoi, if you will, to the chat when I engage.
A certain je ne sais quoi. Okay.
I feel like a little razzle dazzle to the conversation.
Okay.
And I'm really grasping for straws at this point. I just
We
feel
know.
like
We know.
You know what? This is a perfect segue. We did our X. What is your buddy read toxic traits, y'all? Like, what are your toxic traits in a buddy read? Kelly, I feel like we should start with you.
She just named her toxic traits.
Yeah, you're right. T was short.
trait is that I think I'm better than I really am. That is like the overarching theme is what I'm experiencing. I am a buddy reading narcissist, right? In my mind, I'm like, why are you not happy with this experience? Because I'm phenomenal. And the whole time, my buddy readers are like, she's the worst. So yeah, my toxic trait is I'm definitely too much of a mood reader, and I fall out of the mood far too quickly.
You fall out faster than you fall in.
I fall way faster than I fall in. I am very much, I ignore the pacing guide. I forget.
First of all, she doesn't even know where the pacing guide is.
But she requests one every book. She's like, Lee, where's the pacing guide?
Like a week before the book even starts. Hey, do we have a pacing guide? Why do you care?
Because my brain needs it. And then I'm also going to forget that we're supposed to buddy read. I can't tell you how many times I wake up in the morning and I look at IG and someone's like, I can't wait to get into this today. And I'm like, we're buddy reading this week? And now I got to go talk to Bezos and be like, how fast can you get me this book? Because I ain't even got the book yet. So yeah, I have some toxic traits, but this is not going to be a beat up on Kelly face. Nelly, what's your toxic trait? What's your toxic trait,
I don't
Nelly?
think I have one. I think I'm perfect.
That is your toxic trait. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Okay.
The
I mean,
delusion
you guys
is
did
so
name me the queen of buddy reads. So, I mean, it's in the title, queen of buddy reads. That means I have to be perfect. If I'm the queen,
fair.
the crown is here.
That is fair.
I think the queen term was used very loosely when we put it.
What is that Kendrick sound? Bean back, bean back, bam. I know I
But
didn't do it right.
Here's the funny thing for my notes. What do I have at the top of my note? Can y'all see that? Buddy read queen. I don't know if you can read. That is literally what I have on the top of my note.
Kelly
We've
loves
created
me.
this monster. Yeah.
And she's
I'm
here to
so
stay.
responsible. Yeah. All right,
I'm here to stay. I
Yes,
actually
you
need to
are.
redeem myself. I need to redeem myself because I
Okay.
made a huge mistake earlier. You guys were totally
Oh.
right about Milo because, baby, I went back to my Goodreads and I was like, I was mentally exhausted from reading this book. So clearly
Okay.
he was not my favorite. It was Malachi Square because they said, oh my God,
okay.
Malachi is an absolute favorite. He's completely unpredictable and obsessed. Like, I'm obsessed. So I redeemed myself. Sorry. That's
I
gonna
love
be.
Malachi. That checks
Yeah.
out. Absolutely.
So
You
I
have
don't
been
know
redeemed.
who. You guys tricked me with that Milo word. I don't know. With all the M's.
You know, it's Grace's fault. Why she keep giving everybody the same letters, same first letter?
Because they're
Cut it
in
out.
the same family.
Cut it out, because listen, I already got all the rest of the e-names picked out if I'm having more kids. It just is what it is.
Oh my
It
God.
just is.
I just
what
had to
it
redeem
is.
myself.
Yeah, well, I have no point of reference because I read Luca, Lyric, and Lake,
And Lee.
And Liam,
and Liam, and then I quit.
and not Ledge.
No, my Moving on. What is your toxic trait, T? Because I'm not doing this again today. I'm not.
Do I have a toxic trait, y'all? What's my toxic trait?
Yes, you do.
Oh, tell me.
Your toxic trait is joining the group chat, saying you're going to read it, and then just casually evaporating into mist.
I fear you guys miss when I say I'm here for the vibes. The vibe was not in me reading the book. The vibe was me being here in the chat.
Oh, but I'm not done. Your second toxic trait is you will not write a review for nothing.
Oh yeah.
Don't
Because
wanna
I
get
just
star
missed again that I'm here for the vibes. The vibes is not in the writing of a review. I don't want to do that.
And Lee said it. Trait number 3, she won't even give it a rating.
Again,
I
here
was
for the vibes.
begging in the
I
curvy
rate
group
it
chat.
in
I was
vibe
like, T.
vernacular.
I'm like,
I
T,
think
what is
it's
your
really
rating?
giving. It's giving
T
what?
just-
What it gave.
And then T will also leave you on red in a group chat in a second. And I'm like, you see me.
I don't leave you on red.
You do know your bubble pop up.
Yeah, but because I'm looking, because sometimes when there are words, I'm like, okay, maybe they're having a conversation that I can read. I can't always listen to it in that moment. So sometimes y'all gotta wait till I can listen.
But she don't even be like, hey, I'm here. It just be like 10 hours later.
See her little picture there, and I'm like,
Because I don't know what y'all be saying, and Instagram won't transcribe it, even though it asked me if I wanted to transcribe.
That's fair. And I don't always be saying appropriate things for children. So I'll wear that one. I will wear that one.
so.
So really, I don't have any toxic traits. You guys are misunderstanding who I am. Hi, my name is T. My Instagram handle is Read the T. I am here for the vibes.
For
I
the
just
tea.
feel like everyone is delusional at this point. This is just delusion.
No, I know my toxic traits and I wear them. Okay. Toxic trait number 1, I always fall behind. It don't matter what buddy read I'm in.
You're pretty good on a tomfoolery April read.
For now, like, I don't care what buddy read, at some point, I'm gonna fall behind. Don't ask me where I am in Game of Thrones. Nelly knows. It'd be Friday. It'd be like cricket. I'd be like, Nelly, I'll be down. Just give me some time.
I fear none of y'all in Game of Thrones know where y'all are. Y'all are just in there, just
I probably
somewhere.
started counting because I was getting frustrated.
We're just swimming. Just keep swimming. You know,
Swimming.
we're just swimming. Okay. I just made it to chapter 30 today, and I feel accomplished.
Man, I think I'm at 47.
Don't see, that discourages me. You should have kept that to you.
Oh, my bad.
Okay.
Kelly is
And I
the
will
worst
say,
big sister.
Lee
She
has
just punches
another-
you while you're down.
I have another toxic trait, Kelly. Let me
Let's
get
do
my
it.
own toxic traits out there.
I have one for you that I don't even think you know that you have, and I'm just waiting. I'm
Wait
ready
till
to give
she's
it to you.
finished. Yeah.
My second one that I believe I have is that I tend to do the most. So I'm the person that are like, hey, everybody take a video of yourself reacting. Or I'm like, hey, I know it's late, but everybody send me your most recent picture because, I mean, we're content creators. So I'm like, if we're going to read anyway, I'm also thinking about how to get the most
Lee
content.
finds
out of
pictures
things.
of me that are for no one else to see, and she's like, "Hey, send me this."
Yeah, I'm like,
The
that.
pictures you have of me are the pictures I want you to have of me. Like,
Yeah, no, I found
Relax.
the pictures I wanted to have of you.
And Lee, that's when we leave Lee on red. When she's like, everybody take a video. All our faces are going to pop up at the bottom, and we're all just reading it like,
First of all, I see you, see me, seeing you. So y'all
Sure.
are low. And they do it in the Buddy Reads, they do it in the book club, Beauty Brains and Books. And I'm like, that's okay. That's why I bangs with Nelly the long way. I say, Nelly, you want to do this? She's like, sure. The rest of them just leave me on red. But
we
it's
have
fine.
to. We
Because
cannot
every
always
time
entertain the
Roxy's
foolishness.
request, it's like a reaction video. But girl, I'm not gonna prop up
Right.
a camera.
Well, the other day, I was like, ooh, I went to the book club to make a calendar. It was like, ... It was like,
But what's also crazy is 2 months from now, she'll be like, here's the book club calendar. Y'all don't have to answer me, because she'll do it on her own. And then she'll just be like, here you
It's
go.
like she has a book club cup that she won't let anybody else have.
True.
My favorite is when I don't think people are going to respond to me, I'll be like, what book do I think this person is anticipating reading?
I tell you what you want. It's that simple.
She's gonna tell you the book you're anticipating.
My favorite toxic trait of Lee's, though, is when you get late night Delululi. Like, that's my favorite. When she finally decides, like, I'm going to read this book, and I wake up in the morning, and I have, like, 10 voice notes from, like, 10 p.m. to, like, 2 a.m., and then at some point you're going to hear this, because she's so tired, but she won't stop reading. And I'm like, go to bed. Why are you reading?
Those are the voice notes I hear in the morning because
when you hear the giggle, you know that she has been up way too long, even though she enjoys the book. And like, you just gotta listen for the.
What's the last book that made me rub my feet together like that? What's the last book that I did that to y'all?
What were you reading when you were on vacation? I think that was it, wasn't it?
When I was on vacation.
Roulette.
Oh,
yeah.
I was reading Roulette. Which is, by the way, No Babies. Roulette by Gray Huffington.
No Babies.
The one book by Gray with No Babies. Okay. Okay. So this is for Nelly. So back to your love for romance. Do you need a happily ever after? Or
Yes.
are you okay with...
Yes. Next question.
Yes. That was it.
She doesn't even know that other options are. She's like, I need them to get on the horse and ride off into the sunset.
No other option. Yes.
I'm sorry, Kelly. Continue.
Thank you.
Question answered. Fair enough. But I think you also mentioned that earlier. You was like, you do romanticize the book. You see yourself fitting it. I do not need a happily ever after. I prefer it.
Well, Kelly, what's your romance book that you enjoyed that didn't have a happily ever after?
For me?
Yeah, you.
I know what
my favorite book, actually, Zane Afterburn, which is actually it's a little bit different than her typical work where it's just all erotica. It's actually a novel that follows two characters, and it does not have a happily ever after. And it wrecks me every time I read it because she promised me a book 2 20 years ago. I don't think it's coming. Every time she posts something on her social medias, I'm like, girl.
You gotta get in them DMs. Excuse me.
I have a question.
We could probably invite her to the podcast.
Correct. Now, we don't want to bombard you, but...
What trope always makes for the juiciest and best discussions in a buddy read?
Ooh. Lately, it's been, for me, enemies to lovers. It's been the enemies to lovers or the whole, it's the enemies to lovers. Like, what book was it? Oh, they were high school sweetheart and they met at their reunion. But they were like, kind of like rivalries. Yeah, I feel like it's enemies to lovers. What book was it? The Dating Playbook.
I know what that is. Because I thought she was talking about a house. Oh,
by Sarah
I think it was
Sean.
Yes, the last one of the series.
I believe that one.
Yes, I want to say it was a Dating Playbook. And that one was that was a good one. That was a good one. So enemies to lovers.
Okay.
No, but enemies to lovers like my favorite, and fake dating. Yeah, those two.
Yeah, because I
like
feel
those
like
my
there's a
top.
lot of debate with the enemies to lovers now. Because it's like, because some people are like, if they haven't tried to kill this person, it's not enemies to lovers. So some people are like, those are frenemies to lovers. So are they true enemies? Or are they more frenemies to lovers?
More frenemies. I feel like they're more rival than anything.
Yeah.
Because they are more competing in high school for like the highest GPA.
Okay.
So they're more rivals. Yeah.
Yeah. No, an enemy is like to me is like your dad was responsible for revolution, and my mom killed your dad, and you killed my brother. That's the end of
Yeah.
it, baby.
But do you know where I heard that though, Lee? And that makes sense what you're saying. The person I heard rave about that was a fantasy girl. She was like, it ain't enemies to lover unless someone tried to kill somebody. And I'm like, who hurt y'all?
And
But
not
that's
just
very heavy in the fantasy world though.
and not just try to kill me, like generations of us, or like my mama don't like your mama, and your daddy tried to kill my daddy. Like,
See, that's that mafia romance right there. And those right there,
Don't
yes,
get me started.
yes.
Don't get her started.
Oh.
Nelly, what's your favorite mafia romance?
The one I just read called Isabella. It's on my page.
By who?
It,
By
T. Her name is T. Preston.
Okay.
Yeah, she's new. So this is a book to the first one was called Mateo, and now this is by his sister Isabella. And I'm not even gonna give no spoiler. It was good.
Yeah,
It comes out on the 25th. It comes out next Friday. But you gotta read Mateo first.
But let me tell you something about Nelly. I know Nelly has taste. When she started reading Capone, Capadonna, and them, and I said,
I was gonna bring it
I
up.
was wondering when that was gonna come up.
When
Nelly,
you
how's
said,
it
I was
going?
like, oh, here we go.
I
Here
said,
we
Nelly,
go.
how's it going? And she said, spectacular. I said, oh, you got taste, girl. You got taste.
Whew,
Chris,
that
you
series
haven't
had me in a
read-
chokehold.
Have you
What
read
you
any of the Capone, Capadonna? Have you read any?
Red Quasim 2.
She
Okay.
read Quasim, and she also read a Thousand Hours with a Rich Menace.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
I did read
so,
that.
Okay.
so T is in the club. We're waiting on you, Kelly.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come
y'all know
over.
this-
Come over. Come over. If I can read a fantasy with you, can come over.
I just
Come
been
on over.
overwhelmed with the number of books, and I know
Yeah.
that I'm getting all this pressure because even though I read 4 Great Huffingtons, it wasn't enough. It was like you got to read one more.
But Kelly is one of those. But I already told Kelly. I said, if you read the first Capone and you're not hooked to keep going, I promise I'll leave you alone. I don't think she
And I
believes
told
me.
Kelly just to jump in wherever she wants to jump in.
That too.
Now,
I think
granted, I
Kelly,
do have a couple of questions from Quasim 2. Just a couple of pieces of the backstory where they mention certain things, and I'm like, well, why is he passing out having a seizure? What he got?
okay, so Capone has sickle cell.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, that is a missing piece.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, but really, Jack Crow does a great job of, in the book, giving you enough backstory-ish for you to like keep reading and begin to piece. Now, you don't have the whole story, but you have enough that you can still enjoy the story.
She recaps. She does.
So when I read
Yeah.
Quasim 2, I didn't even read the first Quasim. I read Quasim 2. And I was like,
Nelly, they're making me itch, but it's fine. It's
Oh.
fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I
It's
can't jump
fine.
into a series. Like, I gotta start from the beginning.
Charles,
My
I
girl.
was in Lady Creole's comment section because she had reviewed it. And this other lady was like, I feel like I just want to read this book. I ain't read none of the other ones. I was like, let's do it. Child, we jumped into it. We was both like, so is this person? Because they have their names, but then they have like their biker gang names, but then they have their names within their family names. And you like,
And then they got 50 million nicknames.
correct. And I'm just like, okay, so is he this person or this person? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know which one is Kang. Kang.
Yeah, Kang is Quasim. Yeah. They call him Kang because he's swinging that thing. Yeah.
So, but no, it was a good song. It was a good song. Now I can imagine that Capadonna and Capone and Carisha are doing great jobs, but I don't.
Let me tell you something.
I don't want to go back.
Kelly
Let's
would-
go with a C. I can't think of another C name. What's the other one?
I think it's Capone, Capadonna, Corleone. So here's the thing, T. I think you came in where you were supposed to. Quasim is definitely a man being a man, and that whole it would have gave you anxiety watching him and Blair take their time over the books. I think you came in right. If I was going to tell Kelly to come in anywhere, she should come in at Capadonna because Capadonna's rowdy. He's so rowdy.
Shenanigans.
He's so destructive. He's all about the shenanigans. He don't follow any rules. He be mushing people in the head and shooting up whole blocks over his woman because you touched it.
I'm listening.
And this woman ain't even his woman. He stole her. Like, I think you have to come in at Capadonna because that's your type of ninja, okay?
It really is. Because y'all were beside yourselves when I was like, after I read the Gray books, and I was like, okay, I picked Lake. And y'all was like, nobody picks Lake. And I'm like,
to give you
shenanigans.
Just to give you context.
No, I agree with you there. I thought you were picking Lake as a book boyfriend. He is not a great book boyfriend.
Oh no, but Lake was for the
understood me
shenanigans
correctly. Because again, I want the shenanigans.
Listen. I don't want you to play me like that though. I'm with Lake as like a best friend. He could be my best friend all day because yes, he's with it. But like my heart, absolutely not.
Now he did the girl wrong. I mean, I can give it that. But see, the insta love with Luca, not interested. Now again, Keanu. Now that I know that he has a book, I might come off the bench for that because Lyric annoyed me.
You know what's funny? For someone who doesn't like Gray Huffington's book, she sure bought it back to Gray. I'm just saying, I think Kalindra enjoys them more than she wants to admit.
It's not that I don't think they're bad at all. The pregnancies just get... I don't like the pregnancy trope. I don't like it. We know how babies are made. So when people get surprised after you've been banging it out for 360 pages and then someone's like, I'm nauseous.
But I'm going to be real with you. I don't think anybody's ever surprised in the Gray books. The men are like, yeah.
That's
I'm going to buy you a new car.
That's their aim.
No one's ever surprised.
No, I believe Lyric was acting real surprised.
Okay, she was surprised, but she wasn't surprised. She was scared of her brothers. There's a difference.
Correct.
She wasn't surprised.
She did not want to tell her brothers that she's with their best friend.
She was scared.
Anyway, but what I thought you were going to say for your tropes, though, Nelly, because it would have just made Lee's little eyes just light up. I thought you were going to say kidnapping, because you mentioned kidnapping for the thrill. Oh, you see, Lee gets... her feet are rubbing together right now.
She gets
over
giddy.
Kidnapping. I thought you were going to say that for your trope, because Lee, y'all was going to be like this. If you like, she likes a soft kidnapping.
Nelly, did you like Diva's Dream?
Have I read that?
By LK?
Yes, I looked that up in 2 days. Yes, 2 days. 2 days. Where's the part 2? Where's the next one? Yeah. Where's the movie?
No, there's no part 2.
We need it.
We need a movie. Somebody call 50 Cent. Call Stars. Yeah,
I ate that
so
one.
I was hoping you was going to say kidnapping, because Lee, she gets beside herself with the kidnapping.
But yeah,
I enjoyed them too.
No,
they're good.
I charged to Kelly. She's not going to pick it up. Don't try to come in Jaquel books in order. Just pick up Capadonna, because that's your ninja right there. You're unhinged, just reckless, just the way they describe this man, he's so BDE. Okay.
Right.
Okay, I have 2 more questions. Let's okay, and Nelly, don't give me an I don't know. I need an answer. Okay, Nelly, I need you to pretend that you're a coach for whatever team you want to be a coach for. I need you to pick your starting 5 for your favorite buddy readers. Go.
Why you put me on a spot like that? Okay.
We have
5?
to.
Okay. Obviously,
5.
Bestie, Book Talk with Jay. That's number 1. You're number 2, because that's, you know. T always down, so she number 3. You number 2. You number 2.
Yes.
T number 3. Tina, that's my girl, Mariah Die. She was with me with the whole, the Glado family. We were stopping everything we did. And number 5, ooh. That's my main 3. What's my main 4? Bunny reads. That's it. That's what I read with.
I know that's right. She said, I don't need a 5, I got a top 4. Okay. We'll take it. All right. Tomfoolery, you better answer this question correctly. Who's your top 2?
She painted us right in that box, didn't she?
Baby, but I'm about to bust your box wide open because you're not gonna like.
We read thrillers and we didn't even want to read with you and we didn't even make the top 2. That's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. Who's your top 5, Kelly? Who's your top 5?
Do you want my truth? Can I walk in my truth?
I always want you to walk in your truth,
Okay.
Kelly.
So Book Talk with Jay is gonna be my first, and that's largely because I don't know if she was my first buddy read, but we've probably done like 15 or something. Like, we've done a lot together, and she's a thriller girl, so she's the one I always read my thrillers with, and so that puts Tina Boo as my second because, again, the three of us typically do a lot of book read or buddy reads together on the thriller side. If it's romance, I mean, I feel like I gotta keep you and T in the lead because I don't do any romance reads. I don't think with anybody else. Actually, I don't think y'all are the only ones who can pull me down that rabbit hole to read these doggone pregnancy, loving, whatevers. And then I really don't know. Like that. Why is that fifth one hard? Like,
I don't know.
I mean, and not even just for the sake of the video. Like, I don't want to seem like, but I would say it probably is Nelly because at the end of the day, sis ain't gonna back down. Like, the fact that you just agreed to do a psychological horror with me.
First thing in the morning.
I didn't have
But
coffee,
again, I
so
like
that's
that energy. It's like, I'm gonna read it. She's like, I'm gonna read it.
I
But
won't
we
know.
have it in
That's how I
writing, so
am.
it's happening. So there's no backing down.
I won't if I don't try something, I won't know if I like it or not. So like I said, I'm down for that horror. I'm down for a fantasy. If I read one, like this not for me, moving on back to my romance and thriller. I tried it. I gave it a chance. You know, gotta go. Bye. Gotta go. Deuces. No. I'll give it a
Lee's
chance.
not gonna give you a one and done though on that fantasy. I'm just gonna warn you now. She's gonna
And I'm
she's gonna be
definitely not.
determined to find
We'll
you a
find
fantasy.
something. Don't worry.
And I'm not the type to DNF a book at
She's
all.
like the lady.
Oh, you and Lee, you are kindred
Once
spirits.
I start a book, I
Oh,
gotta finish it. I feel bad. Now a movie, I could turn a movie on in 5 minutes. You
got
ain't
to.
bye next. But a book, I'm now. I want to read it. What's gonna happen? It might drag me. Might not be done in 2
I'm
days,
pretty
but
committed.
yeah.
So that's how you know when she's not vibing with it. If it's been 4 days and she's still reading, now we know.
And it's
she's
not because
vibing
she's
with this
forcing
one.
herself to pace herself.
Yeah. Okay, Lee, who is your top 5 for your team?
My starting player is the BBB book club, and I feel like that counts because we buddy read a book every single month. Okay, and I love how active our group chat is. So that would be one. My second would be the tomfoolery girls. And then, of course, my third would be Nelly because, you know, we joke that she's not the queen, but I be in her DMs every month like, Nelly, what you got? What you got in your net galley? Help me out. When I first started buddy reading with Net Galley, my Net Galley percentage was a 12%. My Net Galley percentage is now 52. It still needs some work. It really still needs some work. It has improved majority, you know. And then I would say Lynn's because Lynn's and I do a lot of reads outside of the group as well. And I like Lynn's because she's down to read the things that like historical fiction, and I know that's not what I'm getting from y'all. So we'll try some new stuff, or we'll read a lot of paranormals. Like we read Brothers Unholy together, and we really enjoyed that by Nasty. So that's my starting 5. How about you, T?
Now y'all know everybody I know is right here on this screen. So it's gotta go like that. I got 3 right here. If I could add in BBB, that's 4. And number 5 would have to be the random buddy reads that Nelly and Kelly be adding me in. We read Curvy Girl Summer, turned into Kiss Countdown, turned into Dark Matter. You know, now it's probably pieces of Legendborn and Game of Thrones now too. So those are my 5. That's all I got.
And mind you, dark matter is where T just evaporated.
No. I evaporated in a Kiss Countdown.
I didn't even realize that. See?
I was like,
You're
you
like,
gotta
see,
review it.
that's
She was
the
like,
review. I didn't read this book, y'all. I don't. You don't.
Well, listen, if you haven't already had the privilege of doing a buddy read with Nelly, you should. It's a great time. She's going to help you improve your NetGalley ranking, and it's a time will be had, okay? Thank y'all so much for coming to family night, okay? That was Tea Time with
Kelly.
T.
and Lee. Bye-bye.